I started the Jack Kemp Foundation in 2010, shortly after my dad passed away, and you all are here at a Kemp Forum on exchange rates in the dollar. I want to welcome you to the National Press Club.
The political leadership of the world needs to restore hope to people that money will be sound, currencies stable, taxes low, property defended, the rule of law implemented, and trade kept open and free.
The unfinished business of supply-side economics is getting to a sound dollar.
The euro and the dollar are now the key currencies, and stabilize the exchange rate of that. And that means, of course, you have to do something about coordinating monetary policies.
That was Dr. Mundell a few years ago, and this is the letter that he wrote for us today. A more stable dollar-euro rate, along with the yuan, already linked to the dollar, would provide the world economy with a core of stability. The other big economies can then link to this core. The goal should be to establish a unified international currency system that is consistent with the principles of free trade and optimal capital flows.
I think what to do should start with stabilizing the most important price in the world, and that's the dollar-euro exchange rate.
Ideally, I would like to see over the years more interest in achieving some degree of stability in exchange rates, which probably, as a practical matter, means between Europe and the dollar, and now, eventually anyway, the RMB. We'll get the yen in there too, I guess.
While the world worries that trade tensions and protectionism could trigger the next global financial crisis, or that differential interest rate policies among the world's central banks will cause currencies to dramatically shift, choking off growth, potentially leading to regional defaults on dollar-denominated debt, what do we need to do at this point to turn things around? How do we get back on the path to economic growth? Productive economic growth, the kind that actually raises living standards.
If we want to maximize long-term growth, minimize the risk of protectionism, and create greater stability in foreign exchange rates, then we should learn from our experience with the Plaza Accord and work consistently, vigorously, and in a regular, sustained way to coordinate macroeconomic policies.
We have been dealing with floating exchange rates since 1971. We have developed no solution to the problems it creates in trade. Indeed, neo-mercantilism has raised its threatening head, and we are now confronted with the threat of protectionism, not just in the United States, but all over the world.
My classmates working in the PBOC sometimes privately they complain with Fed, U.S. Fed policy, and they told officials, the Treasury officials and the Fed officials, you ask us to stabilize exchange rates. You threaten to label us as exchange manipulator, but you know the RMB exchange rate is influenced so significantly by your policy, but you never consult us when you change your policy.
I deeply believe that the condition of one's birth should not determine the outcome of one's life. Our nation must maintain that calling, and your discussion today is important because of the impact that monetary policy has for those who are starting businesses today, in an effort to make their and their children's lives better tomorrow. Congratulations on your new project on exchange rates in the dollar. Your conference, in conjunction with the IMF spring meetings, to talk about international monetary policy is a very important discussion to have.
The world dollar base affects commodity prices in dollar terms around the world at the same time. What it does in the reserve currency country to the United States is to make prices rise faster or much further in the United States than it does in other countries.
Let me then infer what we might do today. First, recognize that the United States has the obligations of leadership. Second, establish a line, a convoy of orienting monetary policy, I said domestic monetary policy, towards fixity and an anchor in the exchange rate markets. And third, watch as others follow the lead while expecting a run of fantastic global prosperity.
All of this, I think, goes to illustrate that it is perhaps as easy to criticize the fiat dollar-based international monetary system as it is challenging politically to improve on it.
The replacement of fixed exchange rates under the gold standard with the floating exchange rates and inflation targeting has not worked out well. We need to return to money with fixed exchange rates tightly tied to a hard anchor.
No wonder now we find ourselves turning to the forward-looking ideas of Kemp and Mundell.
Jack Kemp was an extraordinary man, politician, I would say statesman. He was not afraid to go against the conventional wisdom.
Jack Kemp would, I think, agree with these conclusions. And Jack would also recognize that that will require leadership from many countries, but most of all from the United States of America, the world's largest economy and home of the de facto reserve currency of the world.